You generally can separate new car buyers into one of two groups: those who pore over the order sheet with painstaking detail and deliberate over each option, and those who just want the paint to be over as quickly as possible. By default, those of us with tastes that lean toward more sporting transportation are generally forced into the former group. The fate automakers and salespeople naturally are quite happy to let us suffer as we dig the financial grave via the order sheet. The Honda Accord Sport, however, takes a more sensible approach. By zeroing in on a few key standard features focused on upping the sporting quotient, we'll get to the specifics in a moment while keeping an eye on the bottom line. It's actually possible to leave the dealership with a well-equipped, yet technically option-free, Accord sedan for around $25,000. Assume the position. Honda positions the Accord Sport in between the entry LX and mid-level X trims, so we'll use that jumping off point to see what makes the Sport the pick of the litter. First off, the Sport utilizes a high-flow exhaust with dual tips that manages to squeeze a bit more horsepower and torque from the 2.4-liter inline four-cylinder that it shares with its brethren, making for total outputs of 189 horsepower and 182 pounds-feet versus 185 and 181 elsewhere in the lineup. Does it result in a noticeable seat of pants increase in performance? Not really, but we appreciate Honda's dedication to the concept. Next up are the 19-inch wheels, which dwarf the 16-inchers on the base car, as well as the 17-inchers on the X. In fact, the only other Accord to get 19-inch rolling stock is the top dog Touring, which starts at more than $35,000. The brakes get the first-class treatment, too, with 12.3-inch ventilated front rotors and 11.1-inch solid rotors in the rear. The LX makes do with 11.1-inch units all around, and the X and XL get an 11.5 over 11.1-inch combo. The only other Accord trim to get the large front binders, again, is the Touring. Cosmetic touches for the Sport include the body-colored decklid spoiler and rocker panel extensions, both also shared with the Touring. Inside, the Sport gets exclusive aluminum pedals and a leather-wrapped steering wheel borrowed from the XL models and above. Theoretically, it's possible to add some options to the Sport. For instance, Honda sensing the maker's batch of driver aids that includes lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and collision mitigation is available on the Sport, but choosing it requires opting for the continuously variable automatic transmission, which adds nearly $2,000 to the bottom line and certainly isn't very sporting even with its shift paddles. Let's remain focused on the 6-speed manual Sport in off-the-ramp trim,